Hey everybody, Steve Burns here. So I'm going to be your instructor for web design for Dart G178. Now, the way that I really want to teach this class is I want you guys to approach web design as artists. So I want you to put your creative input and your own uniqueness into any design that you decide to create. All right, so I'm looking at a canvas right now. Now, as you can see, I have my little overview here. Definitely go in here and look at this, read over this one. But basically, let me go ahead and click on it. And I'm just kind of giving you a little explanation about a little bit of overview of the class. And then right in the bottom here, what I need you to also pay attention to is that you're going to have to purchase some type of web design hosting space. You can get that anywhere from $3 to $15 a month. It's pretty inexpensive. And I'm going to allow you guys to make those choices as to what hosting space that you prefer to use. Okay, that's all up to you. Now, if I click on the next button down here in the bottom right, this will take you to the overview of our week 1 assignment. Okay, what I would like you guys to do for this first week, we're going to kind of ease in working with one another, and also kind of getting used to the class and getting used to Canvas for those of you who are not used to this. But Canvas is pretty easy, and I'm going to have each of the modules in here coordinated, or nomenclature will be week 1, week 2, week 3, and so forth. Okay. Now, let me go back real quick. Let me go back to previous here and share something with you. Let me go back to home. It'll be a little easier this way. As you look at the module, you click on module, this is what you're going to see. Now, we have your overview, your homework requirements, which is basically a description as to what I would like you to hand in, and then your discussion here. Then you also have your uploading your homework assignments under the assignment section for this particular week. Now, here, what I'd like you to do is to spend this week just kind of researching out a particular design that you want to use for this class. All right. So if I go over to the overview for week 1, and every week is going to have that same module set up, by the way. So week 2, we have the exact same module set up. And keep it simple. Now, week 1 overview. What I'd like you to do is research your project. Go to the internet, scour the internet for ideas. Maybe you want to design a website for yourself. Maybe you want to design it for a restaurant. Maybe you want to design it for a sports star. I'm going to leave it up to you as to what you want to design. The workflow for designing is going to be the same. This process is going to be deciding how creative your website is going to be, how it's going to look, as color coordination, and so forth. Okay. Now, what I like you to do is make sure that you go online and research your projects. Don't try to figure it out yourself. Go on and look at good work online. So, for example, here is just an overall view of a variety of websites here. So go through them, take a look at them, let them inspire you as to how you might like to create your website. Now, this one is a general search, which is showing you a variety of styles of website. Say, for example, you want a website for artists, right? We have, this is an example there. We have another one here. Maybe your front page is going to it's going to be pretty graphic completely. Now, we're going to start the class off by learning how to customize your website. We're going to get into WordPress later on, okay, on how to use WordPress for the purposes. But for right now, we're going to learn how to use our research capabilities. We're going to learn how to use Photoshop and Dreamweaver to customize everything. And then later on, we're going to get into more of the template-based websites and show you what your capabilities are there. All right. Now, these are examples of other artists' websites. Now, that looks like it's David Bowie, possibly, and other artists here. Now, let's take a look at food. Maybe you want to design something for a restaurant. So if we take a look at that, we'll click on one of them. Here are some examples of how those were laid out. So the idea is that you're going to create a theme for a particular customer. So food is going to appeal to us, somebody's hunger or the taste of their palate. Art's going to pertain to somebody's emotional side, to creative sensibilities. Okay, so your website has to represent the client and the theme. In other words, it's going to engage the clientele to become part of their particular product. Okay, so to speak. I'm gonna go back over here and we're gonna let's go forward. I'm gonna go to next. So that's our little overview here. Now, homework requirements. Now, your videos, let me actually go back. Let's back up just a little bit here. I'm gonna go back to the bottom and I'm gonna hit previous. And inside your overview is going to be your videos. Now, I'm currently recording videos, but you're going to find them right below the overview section here. You'll watch the videos. I'll talk about what we're going to be accomplishing for that type of week or that particular week, and then we're going to talk about what I would need you to accomplish for your homework and why. Okay, as we go forward, and I'm going to click the forward button, the next button here. This is the homework requirements. This is what I need you to do. So for this particular assignment this week, as I state here, let's spend this first week of class researching your project as the type of a website that you would like to design. Submit a TIFF or PSD file that shows ideas for your design of choice. Also, submit a Microsoft Word document explaining in writing who or what you are designing the website for and the impact that it should have on the viewer. For example, you're designing a restaurant to appeal to taste, artists to appeal to emotion, or a lawyer to appeal to justice, to name a few. Explain in detail your choice and why. Keep in mind that you will be allowed to change your mind later if in the event you would like to design in another style of theme. But for now, let's keep your creative juices flowing. Now, what I would like you to do, I'm going to have a criteria of 5 things that I need you to accomplish. You're going to get 2 points for each thing. So this particular assignment is going to be a total of 10 points. So in your Word document, for number 1, 2 points for this one. In the Word document, include the title of the website as well as who it will be created for and the impact it's going to have on the viewer. The second thing I need you to accomplish is in your Word document, include how many links it will have and include the titles of each link. Okay? In other words, those links are going to be attached to pages. And in each of those pages, we're going to put content into it, both visual as well as text. Now, number 3, what I'd like you to do is to use the Adobe Color, and we're going to talk about that in an upcoming video here, in the next video, to come up with a color scheme for your particular design. 4, I want you to create the initial design in Photoshop using individual layer groups to define your header, body, link bar, and any other aspects that will appear on every page. Finally, what I'd like you to include is to make sure as you're designing your website in Photoshop that you're going to be using layers. Those layers should be composed of smart objects and vector shapes to work in a non-destructive workflow. And I'm going to also share that in a video for this section as well. Okay. All right. So that's now we're going to go forward. Go click the next button. This is going to be your discussion page. Now, I will be checking the discussions every day. Now, however, some of you are going to post something, and if you're not used to working through Canvas or in a class that's designed to be online only, keep in mind that your instructor, me, I'm going to be in another class teaching, so I'm not always going to be online checking every second of the day. All right, so you'll post something, and I may not get to it to a day or two after, depending on where I am and how many classes I'm teaching. Now, I will make an effort to check maybe once or twice a day, but I won't be there every minute of the day. The discussion is for you guys to help each other out, okay? Although I will be in here asking questions, your fellow students may be able to answer your questions faster for you to accomplish the assignment. The interesting thing about the online class is that it's also a way for you to teach yourself. If there's something that you may not know that maybe you felt I didn't actually cover in a video, then if am not able to answer your question fast enough, I do encourage you to go online, go to YouTube, maybe find something that'll answer your question. And maybe it's a technique in Dreamweaver that you just forgot how to use and couldn't remember. Go to YouTube, do a quick little search for that particular technique or particular tool that you may need to use, and then get your answer so that you can go on and continue to work on your project. Okay, but I'm going to cover most everything in the videos. I'm going to try to cover as much as I can, as completely as I can, in all of the videos, and they will be there throughout the duration of the class for you to actually watch, and they help you to create your assignment. Okay, all right. So the idea here is that we're going to create a dynamic web page from beginning to end, but for the whole semester, I'm going to give you a good idea how to use Photoshop, how to use Dreamweaver, how did all this tie in to some of the online templated websites like WordPress. Okay. All right. So once you're discussing here, and you can post examples of your work here to allow your classmates to say, hey, what do you think of this? How should I handle this? Give me some ideas, everybody. Help each other out, because you guys will be on here 24/7. I'm not always going to be here. Okay, I will be here as much as I can, so don't panic if you don't get an answer right away. Now, I'm going to go ahead and target next, and this is where you're going to submit. Okay, so you're going to submit your Word file, and you're going to submit your PSD and or TIFF document. Okay. All right, so your Word file is gonna give me, you're gonna explain to me what and why you're doing what you're doing, and who the website's for, who is the clientele, and so forth. And of course, your PSD or TIFF document is going to show me your initial design or your thoughts, your initial design. Now, keep in mind that if for some reason you want to change later on, you're welcome to do so. But right now, let's research it out. Think about what inspires you. Now, you can do a website on science fiction, or it could be on horror stories, or anything you want to do. I'm going to let you guys choose the theme. But the workflow is going to be the same no matter what you do. So if we can do something creative now, then I can teach you the techniques for pulling this all together. All right. So in the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit about techniques in Photoshop to start pulling your ideas together in layers.